Mike Tyson once bribed a zoo employee $10,000 to let him into the enclosure to fight a silverback gorilla. The employee declined, but the encounter proved that Tyson was truly unafraid to fight anyone. Today, we'll look at the fight between Tyson and Mitch Green, inside and later outside the ring. So let's get into it.
Tyson is a homebo. He tutti frutti, don't go kick his booty. Oh, baby.
Leading up to the fight, Tyson had made quite a name for himself. He was 19 years old and undefeated when he fought former heavyweight contender James Quick Tillis. Tillis was his 20th professional match. Tyson had won all of his 19 previous fights by knockout, while Tillis had lost 4 of his previous 5 fights. Tillis entered the fight as a huge underdog. Tillis put on a decent effort and was able to take Tyson the full 10 rounds. Tyson won by unanimous decision. This was the first time in Tyson's professional career going the distance with his opponent. This broke the bubble that surrounded Mike Tyson, and many professional boxers wanted a chance at breaking the hype train. If Tillis could survive 10 rounds, maybe they could win against him. Back in those days, there was no internet or social media. It was not easy to call someone out to get a fight. But one man managed to get his voice across to the boxing fans and to Mike Tyson. That man was Mitch Green. Mitch "Blood" Green used the new age of digital media to make footage of himself in which he trash-talked Tyson. It mostly involved verbal abuse and slurs, but it did the job.
Mike Tyson is a homo in disguise. I'm gonna call it the battle of the beauty and the beast. Cause you ugly, dark king ugly, you hit me, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you.
The clips were aired during commercial breaks by local TV stations and sports networks such as HBO. The clips must have greatly affected Mike, as he declared to the media that he hated that stupid, ugly mother effer. Mitch Green grew up in the tough streets of Detroit, and as a teen, violence, guns, and drugs were a regular part of his life. He lost his dad to a Western-style shootout fight and had already been shot twice himself by the age of 17. The first time Green was shot was with a .22 Magnum. The bullet went through his right wrist and missed all bones and major arteries. Green was back on the street a few weeks later. The second time he was shot, the bullet grazed the right side of his head, leaving a short scar. It was the gunfights that led Green to a less dangerous career, boxing. He tried to escape gang life and trained at the United Block Association gym in New York City. But his links to gang activity were too distinct and strong. He was known as the king of the New York street gangs by the NYPD for his role as the leader of the Blood Crew. Green soon started to make a reputation for himself as an amateur boxer, racking up wins. The muscular 6'5" boxer knew how to fight. He won the New York Golden Gloves 4 times and amassed a record of 64 wins and 7 losses, with 51 wins by knockout. Green went pro in 1980. As a pro, Green was one of NBC's Tomorrow's Champions and was ranked as high as number 7 by the World Boxing Council. Mitch was undefeated in his first 16 bouts, which included a 1983 points win over Floyd "Jumbo" Cummings and a draw with Robert Evans. His first loss was a 12-round decision to future WBC champ Trevor Berbick in a bid for the USBA title on August 10, 1985. Only 4 days after Tyson's win over Tillis, it was announced that Tyson would face Mitch "Blood" Green next, who was ranked 1 spot ahead of Tyson in the WBC heavyweight standings. Despite Green being ahead of Tyson in the rankings, there was a huge disparity in the fighter's purse. Tyson was certain of $250,000, while Green was due to make only $30,000. Because of this, Green threatened to back out of the fight only 1 day before it was to take place unless his purse was increased. It was only after HBO executive Ross Greenberg reminded Green that a chance at the WBC title was on the line that Green chose to go on with a fight. Tyson and Green met in Madison Square Garden in 1986. Tyson stepped into the ring in signature fashion, no robe, no socks, and no music. Green appeared far less confident than in his home videos. Tyson wasted no time attacking his opponent, knocking Green's mouthguard out in the first round. It was a slaughter. Green was constantly retreating in order to defend Tyson's hooks and crosses. Even though Green had a longer reach, Tyson's speed and quickness proved to be too much, as he would slip everything Green threw at him and close the distance. In the later rounds, Tyson would mock Green and appear to be smiling at him as he bobbed and weaved Green's punches. Although Tyson was in control for most of the fight, he was not able to get a knockout. Green put up a persistent showing, often clinching to avoid Tyson's blows. The bout went the distance, and Tyson was ruled the victor by unanimous decision. Tyson said in a post-fight interview that he could have gotten a knockout, but he wanted to torture Green as much as possible.
9-1 for the winner. For his 21st straight win and his many fights, Mike Tyson. Were you satisfied with it?
Almost definitely. I don't want to sound rudish or anything. I didn't want to knock him out or anything. I wanted to put a lot of pressure on him and make him decide himself whether to give up or not. He wouldn't get knocked out, because if he get hit on the chin, he can't see the punch, and he would say, oh, I didn't see the punch, I got knocked out. So I left it up to himself, and as I must say, I must take my hat off. He's a very tough individual.
After the fight, Green's pride was hurt and he gave up his boxing career and retired. There was still a lot of bad blood between him and Tyson, and it didn't end in the ring. Green returned to selling drugs and vowed revenge against Tyson. But while he was away, Tyson went on to become one of the most dominant boxing champions of all time. Green wouldn't get a second chance to fight Tyson in the ring, but fights don't always happen in the ring. Green wanted to catch Tyson in his own domain, the streets. 2 years had passed after their fight. Green got news that Tyson was shopping at Dapper Dan's, a Harlem clothing store, to pick up an expensive white leather jacket. Green was still a gang member and believed that Tyson stepping onto his turf was something he couldn't let slide. Green rushed into the shop bare-chested and spitting insults at Tyson. He demanded that Tyson either empty his pockets right now or fight him again. The two stepped outside of the shop and into the street. Tyson claims the fight started after Green ripped his shirt pocket, forcing him to retaliate.
I was scared and I was getting paranoid because he was so close. He kept getting close to me. So I defended myself.
There are no official videos of the encounter except for a single photo, but those present claim it was over very quickly and heavily in favor of Tyson. Tyson threw Green to the ground and punched him repeatedly. He then got inside his Rolls Royce. Green, who was high on angel dust, got up and broke Tyson's side mirror, prompting Tyson to get out again and beat him a second time.
When he fell, he broke off the side mirror.
You got mad again? You got mad all over?
We were fighting and wrestling. Boom! He knocked out. He was out cold. Boom!
Green was knocked out cold this time, and Tyson was afraid that he had killed him. Green later claimed to the media that Tyson had sucker punched him and drove off. Green would later try to get his revenge in court, suing Tyson for $25 million in 1997, 9 years after their duel outside Dapper Dan's. However, Blood was only awarded $45,000 in court, which wasn't even enough to cover his legal bills. Nevertheless, Green reportedly left the courthouse screaming loudly, "I'm the winner, I whooped him."
Miss Blood Green's in the house. There you go. You got my man in the house.
As of 2022, they both seem to have moved on, and whenever their street fight is mentioned, they laugh it off. Mitch is now a born-again Christian and is free of his addictions to drugs and alcohol.
Mitch Green.
I hear he's a born-again Christian.
He's a born-again Christian.
That's why I seen him.
Let's
in
show
the
him some
papers.
love.
Yes, he does deserve love.
He's now married and works as a marriage counselor with his wife. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed the video. This has been Gloves and Glory, and we'll see you next time.